Well, hello there, everyone. How y'all doing today? Today's Monday, September the 23rd, year of 2024. Hey, how's this lighting looking here? This is a good spot to sit in? And I apologize for not making more videos lately, but I've been extremely busy. Anyway, as always, I am not a financial advisor, not a CPA, not an attorney, and definitely not a doctor or nutritionist. Okay, so with that being said, my question is, why don't you invest? That's my question. That was the title, right? Why don't you invest? And what I'm talking about, if you want to invest, you're going to prepare for your retirement. If you want to live when you're older, you got to invest now because pensions are pretty much all disappeared. 401ks, they're not the best way to invest either. So anyway, if you want to know how to invest, just check out my channel. Most of my videos are talking about investing. But in this video, the question is, why do you want to invest? And it's a trick question. Or why don't you want to invest? Why don't you want to invest? The trick question is, why don't you want to invest in your health? Okay, that's a serious question. I've been, for the past week or so, have been watching in the 2024 Food Revolution Summit. Okay, as you know, I've said this in other videos, I try to eat very healthy. I try to exercise. I try to sleep well, minimize stress, etc. Okay, I do the best I can. But then for some reason, this Food Revolution Summit, I watched the one, I guess a year ago. I seem like I watched two others, I think. And I've also done some other stuff with other seminars on dealing with health, brain health. I've watched a couple brain doctors, what do you call them? Not neurologists, or are they neurologists? I forget now. But I've watched those before, and same thing there. They talk about the food you eat, the sleep you get, minimizing stress, and the brain doctors will stress exercising. But the food one is the most important, I think, combined with everything else I just mentioned. Okay, so the Food Summit, Food Revolution Summit, all of us need to make a difference in this world. We need to eat properly and correctly. Forget about all these diets you hear about. The keto diet, Mediterranean diet, this diet, that diet, carnivore diet, whatever it is, all those different diets, just forget about them. No diet works. Why? Because it's a diet. You do such and such to lose weight or whatnot, and I don't know what the percentage is, but say 95% of those people, within a couple months, if they did lose weight, they gain it all back because they cannot stick to that diet. So what all of us need to do is change how we eat and change our lifestyle to include the exercise and the minimizing stress and the sleeping better. Okay? But it's all tied into the eating correctly. And I keep having text pop up that's distracting me. Okay? It's all tied into eating correctly because you got to eat for your health. All right? And the way to do it, forget all this bunk that you hear about. Oh, you're a bodybuilder. You need to have 150 grams of protein a day. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can check out some bodybuilders who are vegetarians and they're extremely muscular because you can get a lot of protein from vegetables. And with that being said, I do eat a little bit of meat, fish, chicken, pork, that sort of thing, but less than I ever have. Okay, so I'm not a vegetarian. Okay, but with that being said, as a vegetarian, legumes, which are beans, red beans, kidney beans, white beans, lentils, peas, they all have a lot of protein. Soy's a bean. Soy has a lot of protein. You drink soy milk, and there's no negative health benefits to soy milk. Just get unsweetened if you can. Soybeans have a lot of protein too. As long as you're not in the military or a police officer to do a drug test, because they may check for, I don't know if this will trigger the test or not, but hemp seeds. Get some hemp seeds, sprinkle them on your yogurt, your oatmeal, your whatever, your salad even. They have protein, etc., etc., etc. Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, nuts, walnuts, cashews, almonds, etc., etc. They all have protein, okay? Everything has protein. Are you worried about osteoporosis, osteopenia? Different plant foods have calcium, and your body can more readily absorb calcium from plants than they can from any supplement. And the downside of supplement, according to a heart doctor that was in this summit, and the summit's still going on. There's 2 more days left of it, I think. But according to this heart doctor, if you take great calcium supplements, and he said the maximum calcium you should ever take, and this is just for a very small percentage of people, is 1,000, I think it's milligrams. If you take calcium, you know what I'm talking about, however they measure it, but 1,000, okay? That's the maximum. But he says the majority of people should not take calcium supplements. Why? Because especially if you exceed that 1,000, your body cannot use it all. It does not go to your bones. What it does is goes into your veins, your arteries, whatever. It calcifies them, hardening of the arteries. You don't want that. You don't want to be taking calcium for your health and have a heart attack because you harden your arteries, do you? Okay? But heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States. 100%, pretty much, almost. I won't say nothing's 100%, but it's very close to 100% diet and lifestyle connected. Diabetes is rampant in the United States of America and the world. Almost, for type 2 diabetes, almost 100% diet and lifestyle related. All right? So look at yourself in the mirror. Are you slim and trim? Are you the body weight that someone your age would have been back in 1950? Why do I say 1950? Obesity in 1950 is something like 4% of Americans were obese in 1950. That's a statistic they said. Nowadays, something like 40% of Americans are obese, and up to 70% of Americans are overweight. So look in the mirror at yourself. How come if you are heavy, why are you heavy? But maybe your grandparents, look at pictures of them. Maybe they weren't. But with that being said, some people are they're big bones, they're just stockier, they're heavier naturally. And they can eat a little piece of lettuce and they gain weight, okay? That's their body, okay? That's normal. Do not tease them, do not criticize them, do not make fun of them, etc. Because some people, that's just how they are genetically, okay? Now with that being said, as long as they eat correct in the exercise, they shouldn't be that extreme obese. They might be a little bit chubby, but they won't be obese, I don't think. Okay, and I'm not a doctor, like I said, not a nutritionist. Okay, but we all have to eat correctly. We have to exercise. We have to learn how to sleep correctly. We have to minimize stress and always minimize external trauma, like wear your seatbelt when you're in a vehicle, wear a helmet on a motorcycle. If you jump out of an airplane, make sure you got that working parachute on. Okay, because I've done that. I've ridden motorcycles. I've jumped out of an airplane before. I've been skydiving before. All right. So, and I'm still here, right? So anyway, with that being said, just to summarize, eating correctly, and I'll say this I'll try to summarize it quickly. Fruits and vegetables, we all know what they are, okay? Nuts, we know what they are. Legumes, they got their own category. Beans, we know what they are. Leafy greens, when I say leafy greens, romaine lettuce, not necessarily iceberg lettuce, but iceberg lettuce does have a little tiny bit of health benefits. Romaine lettuce, Swiss chard, mustard greens, collard greens. They consider even a broccoli is a brassica. They kind of throw that in there too with it, broccoli and stuff. But brassica has its own category too, which is very healthy to eat, like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Excuse me there. That has its own category. Mushrooms. Mushrooms, if you can, eat them daily. 5 times a week, if not 3 times a week. If you don't eat them at all, start eating them once or twice a week. And then try to increase the frequency you eat them, okay? I'm eating them probably 3 or 4 times a week myself, but my goal is to pick it up a little bit more. Also, if you've heard about blue zones around the world are 5 or 6 different spots in the world. One's in Loma, something in California. It's a spot where people have been known to live longer than any other people around them. Let's say for the United States, at one spot they live longer than the average American, and a lot of them are living into the 100s. Okay, same with other parts of the world. All right. So one thing that every group around the world, they all have similar diets but different diets. They all exercise. They all eat whole natural foods. That's the thing, whole natural foods. Okay, not something out of a box. Do you eat cereal for breakfast? Look at the ingredients. Look at the amount of sugar in it. All right, added sugars and everything. Cut out, if you can, Sugar is one of the biggest drivers of inflammation. Cut it out of your diet. Added sugar. That's processed sugar. It's not fruit sugar or natural sugar in nature. It's processed sugar. Okay, there's a difference. All right, cut out added sugar. Cut out processed sugar. All right, I can't get this right now. Let me just say something real quick. All right, never mind. Hey, I'll call you right back. All right. So with that being said, cut out sugar. So I'll call you right back, okay? All right. All right. Yeah, so I'm sorry. Sorry about that distraction. So cut out added sugar. Eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes, mushrooms. There's something I'm forgetting. Eat nitric oxide. Your body can make it from plants. Eat beets. Beets, broccoli I think can do the same thing. Swiss chard might do the same thing. It's good for you. Minimize your red meat consumption. Eliminate, if you can, your bacon consumption. Eliminate the best you can. Minimize it, okay? Because study after study after study after study after study after study after study is showing red meat is one of the driving forces behind heart disease and early death. All right, processed meats are a much larger driver. Processed meats meaning bacon, lunch meat. Most lunch meat is processed meats. You do not want them. Okay, try to minimize them. Try to phase them out over time. The best way to do is cold turkey, but not everybody can do it cold turkey. Start adding in the good stuff. Add in your apples and your oranges. Add in your nuts. Add in your seeds. Add in your other fruits. Add in the asparagus. Add in the beets. Add in a variety. Go to your local farmer's market. Go to your local supermarket. Look at the produce section. All right? Find stuff that you've never tried before and give it a try. If you don't know how to cook it, Google it. All right? Give it a try. Nature helps us. So the point of this is, I've said this before, why do you want to be wealthy if you're not healthy to enjoy it? All right? Do what you can to live a long, long time. By doing that, you're reducing your footprint on this earth. All right? One thing that they say during this food conference is there is such thing people talk about, but whether you believe it or not, climate change, right? We're getting hotter in the world. Some people say it's cyclical and whatnot. A lot of people are against fossil fuels, but we can't just flip a switch and turn off fossil fuels. I mentioned that before. One thing we can do, which will affect the carbon footprint of the planet, the world, in the biggest fashion ever, more so I think than eliminating gas-driven cars and fossil fuels, is if we cut out our beef consumption. All right? Minimize the amount of cows. It's not natural for cows to be living in a factory barn and us eating them. You go to the supermarket and you buy meat. Where does that meat come from? Where does that cow live? Did he ever eat a blade of grass? Or is he cooped up in a barn his whole life? Her whole life, whatever, her. He cooped up in a barn. It's a factory barn is what I call it. Same with your chicken. When you get chicken breasts that are like real puffed up, that's not normal. Look it up on the internet. Chickens that are genetically modified to grow breasts like that, they can't stand up. They're falling in their own chicken poop before you eat them. All right. So just think about it. Watch some movie. I should not have to be talking to you about this. I should not have to be talking to you about this because the information has been out there for decades. All right. But yet, when I look around, diabetes is rampant. Heart disease is the number one killer. Society is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Kids are becoming diabetics. Kids are getting clinically diagnosed as being obese. All right. So that being said, just try to implement positive changes in your life. I'm not criticizing anybody. We all have faced, none of us are guilty because we are blasted with marketing for different stuff. Plus, eat a potato chip sometime and think about this. Can you just eat one potato chip, two potato chips, three potato chips, and stop and put it away? Can you take a bite or two of ice cream and just put it away? The average person can't. Why? Because the companies have scientists working for them who have developed chemicals to put in our food that trigger certain things in our brain that makes us addicted. So when someone's just scooping down that bag of potato chips and can't stop, they're not necessarily at fault. They're not at fault. It's the food company at fault. All right? So don't blame yourself. If you're overweight or anything, you have health problems, don't blame yourself, but do blame yourself if you don't make positive changes. If you're hearing this message and you want to lose weight, you now have some knowledge to do it. If nothing else, look up Dr. William Lee, L.I., William Lee. I've talked about his book before in my videos. Look up Ocean Robbins. Look at who Ocean Robbins' grandfather was. Baskin Robbins ice cream. All right. Baskin Robbins. Baskin was his uncle, I think it was. His uncle died of a heart attack or something when he was 54 years old. Because he was a big guy. He ate ice cream every day. His grandfather also ate ice cream every day, but by the time he was 60, had major health problems. But his son, John Robbins, when he was in college, he had been groomed growing up. He said he'd have ice cream sometimes, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay? Because his family, Baskin Robbins ice cream, that was his family business. He was groomed while growing up, and he would take over that business. If he had taken it over, he'd be a billionaire right now. College years, he made the decision to walk away because he said that he did not want to be part of something that was hurting people. And ice cream industry has hurt people. And I love ice cream, okay? But that industry has hurt people. All right, so he walked away from it, and that's John Robbins. His son is Ocean Robbins. Look up Ocean Robbins. He's the one heading up, him and his dad are heading up, John, this 2024 Food Revolution Summit. It's free. All right, they do it every year. They've been doing it for a while now. They do it every year. During the course of the year, they do other seminars or stuff, you know. They have nutritional courses you can take, but you got to pay for them. But it's up to you. You know, I'm part of their Food Network club or something. It was a cheap one. I got a special one. It was cheap. And it's like a year-long thing. And I'll probably renew it. I like it. I like the information I get. It's fairly inexpensive, whatever it's called. All right. So that being said, I can ramble on this a long time, and I don't want to. And my phone battery's going to die too, so I got to charge it and then upload this. All right. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for listening. I do care about you, okay? I want you to be wealthy, but also I want you to be healthy. All right? Take care of yourself. Maskies, signing out.